Now we're going live. So now we are live. Hello, everybody.
Is
Can
it for
you
real this
see?
time?
Yeah, I think it's for real this time. There was an extra
Three,
step
two,
because
one.
usually I just hit, like one button. I don't schedule it usually, and I
Oh,
didn't have to take this extra step, but I had to take this extra step here to actually go live. So,
well, and it's
okay,
eight. It's only 8:30 for me, so it's 11:30 for other people, huh?
let me
So if
take a
they're,
look and make sure. Yep,
do you
there we're
get
live. I see us all
you?
live.
You
Hi,
had
everybody.
some
You can
sweet
see
people
us.
waiting.
Yep. How's it going, everybody?
Mm, mm.
It's getting late. Yep. And Robin stayed up for us. Thank you, Little
Oh,
Red.
little red
So we have a whole seven
whiskey
people
Cheetos.
watching, and we have seven downvotes. I wonder who those. I'll take it. Thank you for.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna go.
yeah.
I'm going over to like it. F you guys. Yeah.
I wonder,
Huh.
I wonder who showed up to give us seven downvotes, but I'll take it.
Oh,
Is the audio okay, guys? If you could tell me, we have a few people here. If you could just let me know how we're doing. Got all seven people watching, but that's okay. This is a first. Oh, we lost your camera.
you lost my
Or you.
camera.
Yep. How's it going, Sherry? Thank you for coming. I see Maya Nova. Laci is here.
I can't
Dottie
see the
Morgan
chat.
is here.
I can't see the chat.
Let me see
I
if I
mean, I
have
can
to.
see the chat, but I just can't, I have to, I'm either on our meet
I
page.
might have to do this to make
These are the
this.
things I needed to talk to Dottie about
Let me
before
see.
I went. Okay, I see it,
Okay, so I have to
but I have to go to the
reinitialize.
page.
Yep. So chat is authorized, so it should be working now. It should show
Did
up
you,
on the actual stream now. If people,
yeah, I do. I need to like probably X out of it because you guys, that way people like don't double hear me. That's bad at once. It's good enough not to have
yeah,
it
no, I think
echo.
you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
It should be. Let me see which one I have. Did I do it the correct one? Yep. This should be it. So it's not showing up. It's all this stuff was working before because I tested
It's
all this
okay.
like
It's
crazy
okay.
before. So let me
Well,
see.
you don't
There's
have to. I mean, it doesn't have to pop up to where we can see it. I mean, at
no. It's
least if
just
you can read it.
it's that little thing on the right hand side. That's actually the
My
live chat
dogs.
is supposed to be showing up. So I'm just gonna try and fix this in. I guess I'm gonna have to reauthorize it. So let me just do this.
There's
I'm
the
gonna
play.
remove the authorization and just give me 1 second. I just have to do this, authorize it with XSplit here. Yep, Joey
Come on, dogs.
D.
Come on.
And that should do it. Supposed to do it. The widget's supposed. They just did an update of this too, which was today. I did a little update of the application, so it's still kind of.
Well, it's fine. Let's just get one of the asshole things up and we can read it.
Okay.
I like, and I don't care any of the four of them. And I think whether it's just us here or if any of the girls on the chat, I think everybody will like it and somehow relate or have something to say. I think anyway,
Yep.
on any of them.
Okay. Let's see. Give this one last shot here. Oh, okay. Didn't authorize.
That's the thing with me using these earbuds though, and or these instead of the other ones, I can't like put my phone in a little holder.
Okay. Okay. So let's see if we got that. That's still not working, but that's okay. We'll have to live without it, I guess. Okay. So which one do you want to start out with? Do you have any particular
I
one?
it does no, I think they were all good. Just read it. Just pick one and read it. Because I
Okay.
like I said, I think if any of the girls are in the chat, I think that they'll all of them have a really good sense of humor, and they'll get it.
Oh, it is showing up. I do see it on the stream now.
Oh,
So
good.
if you look on the stream, it does seem to be. Yep, there it is. It's you see the little thing on the side over there. So it does show, so you can go full screen. So people can go. I do it so people can go full screen. It doesn't have to be as small, but
Mm,
they can still see the. But they can't type in the chat, so that's the difference. So
mm.
okay, so which one do you want to go with first? Who's the
Doesn't matter.
who's the first asshole we want to go with?
Just it. It doesn't matter. I thought they were all good. You just choose one.
Okay. All right. Well, we could
Oh,
start with the sun one. So we'll just go
oh,
with that one
sorry.
first.
Okay. Sorry for the
Okay.
rubbing and moving and being a meth
Nope, that's
addict.
okay.
My husband is right now not saying good things to me, guys.
So did you want to read this? Can you could see it, right?
I can't, no, I can't see anything. I'm only in the meat. When I'm not in the meat and I'm at the
Yeah, you don't
YouTube
need to be
page,
in the meat anymore. You can just leave the meat because
but
you can
I'm
just go.
okay, but it's
You
not
could.
on the screen that I can see.
Oh, okay, but you're not on the. You can't see the YouTube page. I thought you were able to go to the YouTube
I,
actual stream.
I, I am. I'm in the YouTube stream right now,
Okay.
but it's just the stream and
Just
it's a little, there's
okay.
nothing there. It's just the chat.
Okay. It says my son, 17, asked me for a new gaming system, and I said no because he already has plenty of gaming systems and games and doesn't need more. If he wants one, he could save up and buy one. He then comes to me with a budget on how we can afford it. It was mostly just if I buy nothing for myself for 2 months, we'll have enough for the system. I told him hell no, it's offensive, and if he wants the system, he has to save up for it. He then comes back with another budget. He and his father calculated how much I've been paid in child support over the years and decided it would be a good idea to let me know how little a drop in the bucket the gaming system would be. I told him I would spend that on his system every month, but he doesn't. I told him I spend that on his expenses every month, but he doesn't believe me. So I told him that if he doesn't think so, he can pay me for the expenses every month, and I'll give him the child support. Which is, I think that was a pretty cool little thing. Surprise, surprise. When when I gave him the bill, it showed that when you factor in all the things I pay for in a month, it was much more than child support. Child support doesn't even cover
As
30%.
it is.
My ex is yelling at me for making our son feel like an expensive burden, but I think it was teaching him a lesson about money and unteaching him some of what my ex says about support. Am I the asshole for giving him a bill? Uh, then it says ETA, um, not able to comment, but just wanted to say this isn't a question of being able to afford the console. I can afford it, but it doesn't mean he shouldn't just it doesn't that doesn't mean he should just get it. Okay. So, what are your thoughts on I thought it
Um,
was a good lesson for mom to
yeah,
give him.
absolutely. She's absolutely not the asshole. Hold on. My husband's bitching at me again. Let me switch
Okay.
to the earpiece so I'm not making so much noise because obviously I can't hear anything.
Right.
And how can I make fun of KJ if I'm doing the same things that she is? Hold on, I'm gonna real quickly. Um, she's not the asshole. They raised a snowflake, and he's 17 years old. He should not be by this. I wouldn't think at this. He shouldn't be offended by what she came back at. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, okay, of course. Uh, yeah, no, she's not the asshole. The dad is, and the kid is. The kid's a snowflake, right?
It's almost
He
more on
came
the
at his
dad.
mom. Oh, 100%. But first he came at the mom with a budget. I don't know what it was. She didn't list it, but was it like, if you stop getting your nails done, if you stop,
Ex- right. Everything that she would
getting
spend
your
on
copies
herself,
or
she can't spend anything on
possibly,
herself.
possibly. And then at the end when she says, and then, he spoke to his father and he agreed. That's just the dad being a dickhead and putting the mom in a bad position, as well. Now the son's upset because he feels like he's a burden financially. Well, I mean, he he kind of is in a sense, you know. But anyhow, he's a kid. They cost money. I don't think he should have at all, you know. I don't know. Anyway, what do you think?
Well, like I said, it was the dad. He was, here's the dad. He's coming in. He's like, he's like guilting. I've given her so much money, and I'm sure it was a lot of money. But when you what she exactly what you said, what he gives in child support, that only covers like 30% of her monthly bills. You know what I mean? I'm sure, you know,
Mm,
it doesn't. He's not paying. He makes it. He's almost making it sound like he's paying her way because he's giving her money, whereas obviously that's not the case. She's having to work, I guess. She's got some other. She's got something. I don't know what. I don't think she said what was coming in, but uh, the child support only covers. She said it didn't even cover 30%. So
no, it never does. It never does. Yeah.
so he was telling his son of the years, like so he's adding up. Oh, I give your mother, I don't know, say just an example, $10,000 a year, and I've been giving it to her for 5 years. This game console is it's just a drop in a bucket. That doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's like
He's
nothing.
he's insinuating also kind of like, well, I've been paying your mom this money for 5 years. Where is it gone? She's spending it on herself. From experience, my ex-husband had the hardest time, still does, even though he doesn't have to pay child support anymore, but like leveling the fact that he has to pay child support. He just did not yet he couldn't come to terms with the, I guess, what the judge or the state or whatever allocates for your kids. I mean, he just had the hardest time with it, and his defense was, well, if we were together, then he wouldn't they wouldn't cost that much. I wouldn't be paying you, $400 a month if we were together. And they don't cost $400, and the house payment, the lights, the whatever, just the monthly bills. But in
Everything,
actuality, they
yeah.
cost so much more than that. I mean, what about just school supplies, birthday
Right.
parties? You know how many goddamn little kid birthday parties there are? And you can't send a
Clothes.
coloring book with a $5 bill in it. Yeah, clothes, which kids grow so fast. So I
Right.
think the dad was just trying to kind of one up the mom, but also score points, like wanted to be maybe the cool parent or something.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
fact that the dad allowed the kid to be that way, I suppose. And then now the kid's upset because he feels like he was treated, I don't know, like he's a burden, a financial burden. It's just, what a pussy is all I have to say.
I don't think she was being the asshole. Like I said, she actually showed him the value of the what money really is. Whereas,
Mm-hmm.
if he really wants something, he can work for it herself. And
Mm-hmm.
like I
He's
said,
17.
you know, like what she said is unteaching him some of what my ex says about support, which was the big thing I was trying to. That's the big thing I saw. Like I said, you could tell that this guy's resentful. That
Oh,
I
yeah.
got, that I'm not married. You had the child. That's still your son. But
Mm-hmm.
somehow he thinks she's benefiting. She's making out on. Like I don't know. You think she's sitting on her butt or something like that, and just making out. You know, with the with all that money, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I said, it seemed pretty clear. So let's see what some of the comments are here. So I mean, you could always tell because it gives you the grade. You see this, it tells you. So the general consensus of all the people who answered was that she's not
Mm-hmm.
the asshole, and I don't believe she was.
Oh, good. I can't see that, but yeah, on Reddit, you mean the grade on Reddit,
Yeah,
like what people are saying. Yeah,
right. See
yeah.
these
I would
people,
like. Okay, wait. Honestly, go to. Does it point out or highlight at one of the comments that don't agree? Because I want to know why they don't agree, rather than, I feel like
I'll
everybody
try.
that doesn't think she's an asshole, we all know why. But for the the people that you know think that she's wrong, what did they say? Or at least one comment.
Let me see. I'll try and find one. So that's something we could work. I'll work on it for the next thing. I'll make sure that I find the contradict. I think I know which
Oh,
way we're both going to kind of go, because it
it
doesn't give you.
doesn't.
It's not like
Oh, okay.
it's not like
Yeah, don't go
Amazon where
fishing
you
for
get
it.
the negative comments,
Yeah.
because that's what I actually look for when I go to buy something on Amazon. I'll look for the um, negative comments to see what they
Oh
actually have to
God,
say about
I
it.
don't. I don't want to be talked out of something I really wanted.
I figured I
Awful.
get to hear all the really, because you get people who are like, oh, it's great. Um, they don't have any complaints about it. Oh, I love it. It's great. I go to like, I want to hear what the actual complaints are about, the thing, and I actually see what the actual, um, um, problems with it are.
Oh my God, you're popular, Joey. Who's blowing you up?
Um, I'm not sure I'm not sure what it's telling me to tell you the truth. So let me just see. A lot of noise.
Oh, that's probably me, huh? But I haven't moved in a while. I've been sitting down. I took the other things out and I put my phone on a holder, so I'm not even touching it.
So I'm gonna just talk in the chat here for a minute because I'm in the stream. Oh, I can do that from the stream actually. I can do it from in here, which is where I was. I think. No, no, I can't. Oh no, I can only do that in studio, like the actual YouTube studio.
Hmm.
So um,
I'm not moving, guys. I'm not even doing anything with my hands. I promise.
no, no, I
Sometimes,
don't. I didn't hear anything.
well, there was definitely noise because Matt came out like 3 times and was like, "Stop moving." Anyway, got it.
Yeah, you can see someone. Sounds like a real winner. I think they're talking about the dad. Yeah, like I said, it seems pretty clear. Um, this was kind of like a no-brainer. The kid's a little spoiled. He's got a whole bunch of
It's
stuff. Let him go.
especially the age. He's 17. I mean, I was pregnant at 17, so I don't know. He can buy his own. Yeah. Okay. Read another one.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to this one's a little tougher, which was the adopted sister. That if you remember reading that one,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a few. Yeah. Go ahead.
it's
I have.
so some of it's a little bit of problems with the translation. But
Oh, right, 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 right. Dutch or something. Yeah.
so she says, "Am I the asshole for telling my sister in quotation mark to leave us alone?" Says, "Hey, little smile. Sorry for throwaway," which I'm not sure what that means. Uh, Straight to the point. I'm female 20. My parents are female 46 and male 49. They live. Now, did you want to go to just the links, because you could actually just read it yourself if you wanted to do that,
Yeah,
or is that
I can do
you?
that, but nope, I'll totally do it. I just have to leave the screen then. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's not a problem. Why don't you do that? Because I'm sure you'll read it better than I will.
Mm, um, I just got it. They came in 4 different ones, so just bear with me for a second so I can. Okay, that's the sun one. Sorry, guys. Hold on just a sec. Mm. Okay, the telling my sister to leave us alone.
Yes.
Correct. That's the one we're doing,
Yeah.
Joey.
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, there is some raw. I don't know. The English is kind of a little messy in here. So if I can catch it ahead of time, I'll try not to read it. Otherwise, I guess
Right.
just bear with us. Okay. So
Yep.
straight to the point. I'm a female in my 20s. My parents, 46, 49. They live in a middle-sized town, whereas I live and study in a capital city of my country, but I visit often. Last year, I started receiving messages from some American girl, let's call her Katie, who insisted she's my older sister and my mom gave her up for adoption when she was a newborn. I treated the messages as a new version of the Nigerian prince scam. Then, yeah, then when I was visiting my parents, the American woman simply appeared on our doorsteps. She didn't speak Polish, and my parents don't speak English. I had to talk for her. She insisted she is the adopted sister. She had all the paperwork. Apparently, it's legal to receive one's adoption documents in the US, and she got the copies of Polish ones and my mom's name and address illegally through a private detective. Sorry. I confronted my mom. She admitted that when she was 17, she got pregnant and left the baby in the hospital. She didn't know what happened to it. She was also contacted by Katie, but ignored her messages as well. My dad didn't know anything. My mom told Katie that we wish her, all the best, but she doesn't really want any contact or to keep in touch with her. You already have a mother in America, she said. Um, America started getting, okay, so I must be Katie. Katie started getting angry and defensive. She demanded to know the medical history, which my mom was happy to provide. Then she demanded to be presented to her father and other family members. My mom categorically said no, and dad asked her to leave the house. She ran out crying. She moped around our town a little, but fortunately, few people here speak English. Then she left. From that time, for nearly a year, she has been bombarding me with messages, imploring me um, for showing her father. I don't know who he is, and family members, inviting to visit us in the U.S., inviting herself to visit me, uh,
I
reporting
think she
what's
was
up. Oh,
inviting relatives to visit her in the U.S. Yeah.
right, right, and she's just giving her reports on what's happening personally in her own life. Katie is. I thought that she was abused by her adoptive family and desperate to have family of her own. She told me herself that the adoptive parents are very kind and supportive of her quest themselves. I didn't encourage her, but tried to be polite. Me that she's going to visit again and use the same detective agency to find her father and other family members. I finally had enough and told her that because of my parents had a crisis in their marriage. No one wants her here. My mom treats her like a youth's mistake. She's making a pathetic spectacle of herself, and please leave us the F alone. She totally broke down and said, I have no idea how to be interculturally adopted, and she belongs nowhere and had identity crisis. And I'm basically a huge, huge asshole not to accept her. But finally, she stopped bothering me. Nevertheless, I'm afraid she's really going to come here and continue to everyone's um,
Life
disrupt
disgusting.
everyone's life. And then, so was I the asshole or was I not the asshole? And this one has, it looks like 2.9 upvotes and maybe no negative ones. I don't see any number by the negative ones.
It says 96% upvoted. You see the percentile?
Oh, I
It
don't, but
said
that's okay. Anyways,
I could see it here. It says 96% upvoted.
sweet. So what do you think? Is she an
It's a
asshole?
really
Or is he,
difficult
or whatever they ask?
it's a really
Yeah.
difficult one because it's no clear cut because these I it's very hard for me to judge someone. They have like an identity little
Mm-hmm.
crisis about being adopted, whereas let me say hold on, Robin says it's a little loud, so I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Turn that up here. Let me put this down a little. Yep, I could see it peeking out over here. Wonder if that's the
Am I allowed?
no, no, there we go. I just turned it down a little bit. Something I'm gonna have to
So
work on in the future.
yeah, okay. So when I was a kid growing up, I would watch, Oprah and somebody would, find their adopted family. I always thought I would have loved that to, be sitting at home and somebody knocks on the door and they're like, your dad is really my dad. Um, but obviously that's just fantasy land or whatever. So it's a little bit of both. I mean, I don't know. I think it would be really hard to be in the position where the daughter was the only English speaking one. So really she was left with the burden that she didn't know anything about. It's not like her mom sat her down and said, look, when I was younger, I had a baby. This baby found me and I don't want any relationship with her, but we don't speak the same language. Will you help? I mean, it would be different, but none of that happened. And so I feel bad for the daughter that she was in that position. And I feel bad for the adopted girl too, because,
Right.
obviously I didn't, that's the first time that I ever heard of anybody being, um, what'd she say? Like, you don't know what it's like to be culturally adopted. Like, so you don't have a place in this world. And maybe that's valid. I mean, I can't speak for, I don't know.
It's so it's yeah, I said they it's very hard like so obviously she has some loving parents. But you'll find that that's not enough for a lot of these adopted kids because they know they're
That was the
adopted.
other thing. Yeah. Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how do you I can't really fault her, but if you remember like if you when she's talking about it, I'm not sure if we missed this part, but she said that it's causing problems between so apparently the dad never
She
knew
said that
about
it was
this.
causing a crisis in the parents' marriage. Like when she
Right.
finally sent her that email that was basically like, you got to stop. My mom doesn't want anything to do with you. She's chalking it up as basically like, I think she said a youthful mistake, but basically she got knocked up on accident. She was young. She put you
Yes.
up for adoption. She wasn't ever planning on having that reconnection. I can't imagine though being adopted and then actually getting the info that you
Exactly.
wanted and that but not knowing what's going to greet you on the other side and if you're going to get that door slammed in your face, which obviously this girl kind of did in a roundabout way eventually. But, hopefully she found, I'll have to read down into the comments and see if there was any updates. But, maybe the father's side was accepting of her and was, down to have a new, relative or something, but it's, that's tricky. I think I don't know. So wait, just a second. It was the American girl that was the adoptee, right? And it's the
Right.
Polish girl that wants to know if she's being an asshole.
Exactly. The one who
Okay, yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know about her stepsister essentially. So she wants to know by because she's kind of rejecting her. She doesn't really want much to do with her either. So she's kind
Yeah,
of like am I she doesn't like that she's kind of trying to find out about the rest of the family, trying to find out
right.
if you notice that she made a big deal to say that she found out the information in Poland illegally, like
Oh, right, right, right. And then
you know
getting a private detective. Well, I think though, in even like when you watch the TV shows, which I love, and they're always good and tear jerkers and everything, but they hire private detectives and people that can,
right.
I don't know, tap into stuff on the internet and they have connections and everything. But I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if the daughter, the biological, well, they're both biological. I wonder if the Polish daughter and the American daughter, if they actually like hit it off, if that would have made a difference. But it almost seemed like the Polish daughter was really annoyed, like they were just almost, or not the American, but the Polish daughter really seemed to be annoyed by the
She put off. Yeah, she's put off to begin
right,
with.
right, I don't know, just like, but maybe if they hit it off and connected, I don't know. I like personally, one of my husband's family members was adopted, and he has zero intentions on Sailor No Ice. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Your daughter?
Uh, like no, my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, she was just, I just didn't want her to get ice out of the ice machine and have my husband come and tell me I was being loudy. But anyway, my one family member has no intentions on tracking down his birth family, and then on the other side of it, there is a daughter that has tried to contact um, the biological father, which is somebody kind of in my family, and the biological father's wife is like, F no, nope, you are not going to have anything to do with her. And, and that's got to be tough. I don't know if my husband, if somebody came knocking on the door and it was like a kid that was like, I like Matt's my dad. I think I would have to like accept that.
Right, right, right.
I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough one, Joey.
I don't find her. Yeah, I found it interesting, but
I don't know. It's like the asshole
she is,
meter's like,
yeah, it's
it's
kind of
Peters.
like, yeah, I'm kind of like on that spectrum that she is being a little bit of
It's
the,
how she worded it back, like basically like F off, you look pathetic, what you're doing, she's kind of painted a picture that it's, this person's just kind of acting ridiculous. And I don't know, maybe so,
I don't
but
think
still,
so,
I don't,
I can't, um,
yeah.
I've never been, what I mean? It's kind of like mom threw her away. Um,
hmm
Just
And
want to say
that's
hi.
got to be
I just want to say hi, Kano. She came and she just got here, so thank you for coming.
Ken- Kenosha, right?
No,
Is that the
Kano.
proper?
Everybody calls her Kino, but her name is Kano.
No, I know, but isn't her full name? I thought her full name was maybe Kenosha. Was that right? Was I wrong?
Oh, I don't
Anyway, hi,
know. I
Kano.
don't know. I'm not sure to tell you the truth. Chat's a little, not a lot of participation, but that's okay. You know, this is our
That's okay.
first try. You know, we're working it out here. This is kind of like a test stream here, so we're working the kinks out here. So we'll see how it goes. Um, yeah. I don't know. I feel bad for her. Um,
Mhm.
you know, like the kids, you know, the two we had the two kids on the corner were adopted, and they never really. I mean, they did mesh, but they didn't. Like, I used to go over
Oh.
their house a lot, but they weren't allowed
Mhm.
to intermingle much, and you know, they
Hmm.
were clearly weren't. You know, you could tell that they weren't brother and sister, and
Oh, yeah. Huh.
mm,
Yeah, that's some. I don't know. That's it. This is a toughie because it's borderline. It's like, you know, I don't know. Maybe your words. You were an asshole by the words you chose to say to her at the end by cutting her off. But really, the Polish daughter really never was. It shouldn't have been. She should have never been the one put in that position. In the first place. I think even though the mom tried to handle it, once she saw that her daughter was the one that was getting the emails and really just taking the brunt of it, maybe she should have stepped in and just been like, talked to the daughter she gave up and, whatever, just said
right,
no
right,
more. Please don't
okay,
reach out to my daughter. Anyway, yeah.
okay. So, all right. So I think I don't know. I'm gonna actually give it a little. I'm gonna go that she was a little bit of the asshole. Like not a
Yeah,
total,
yeah,
you know, not a
me
total
too.
jerk,
Yeah.
but um,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm surprised that she got the complete, pass. Let me take a look at. I'm gonna scroll down and see what some of the responses are here. What people are saying here. So let's see what.
Mm, I'm gonna see if I
Um,
can like look back.
I get that she wants to know more about her background, and she clearly is very passionate about it. But pushing too hard, yeah, that's kind of a hard. How do you know what I mean? Without a reference frame, how do you say that? She's pushing the people she wants to speak
Yeah,
away. She's making
right.
herself an asshole here, not you. Eh,
Yeah.
I could see it from her point of view, though. Imagine searching your whole life for your biological parents only to find out once you finally meet them, they want nothing to do with you. That would
Yeah.
hurt me deeply, even
Mhm.
if my real adoptive family was great.
That's right. That real quick before we move on, that's what I'm not adopted, so I don't know what it feel like. Maybe you feel always like there is a little bit of something missing you know, something's missing, like you're not quite complete and if you can see them, she saw her parents, or her biological mom, she knows she's there, but then not to be able to have a relationship with her, that might actually make it worse, than maybe not ever seeing her because it's like it's so close. I'm so close to being maybe complete, and you know, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Right, right. Okay. So let's go.
Yeah.
We got three more here. So let's go on to. Uh, okay, so this is the next one. Which one's this one again? Okay. Now this one is something we kind of talked about a little bit, so I'll let you read this. But this is something we actually kind of addressed.
Hold on. What one is it?
Um, I the asshole for telling my daughter that I absolutely do not support her only wanting to
Oh,
be
okay.
a stay-at-home
Yeah,
mom.
I got it. Okay. Okay. I don't have a problem with the idea of parents who stay at home with their kids. It's not like that. I get that childcare is expensive and that oftentimes it just makes sense. What I have a problem with is my teenage daughter literally planning her life to only become a stay-at-home mom, as in no college, no jobs, no certifications, excuse me, nothing at all to support herself until the time might come. I told her that
So
it doesn't
just
have
one
to be.
second. I just want to say what we're doing is there's a subreddit called "Am I the Asshole?" and we're just talking about some issues and seeing how people feel about it. So we're just discussing some stuff. That's it. Okay, go ahead.
Just lighthearted asshole
Yep.
Redditness. Okay. So anyway, um I told her that it doesn't have to be college, that not everyone needs college, but that she needs to do something to start making money to put away so that if anything goes wrong with her plan, she has a way to support herself and the potential kids. Her feedback her feedback was that her backup plan was me and my husband. She would move in with us and go from there. We would help them survive. I told her, then what happens if we die or we are incapacitated? She said, I don't know, Mom. This is ridiculous. None of that is going to happen. I told her bluntly that I don't want her becoming a Nancy Botwin 2.0 and that if something happens, she needs to have a backup and um, plan and something behind her other than relying on other people. I emphasize that again. It does not need to be college. She can start working retail to learn customer service skills that she can carry on. That she can carry on to doing call center work from home if needs to be. She can start working as a receptionist somewhere. She can do any number of things, but she says no. She's going to plan to be a stay at home mom. With all that in mind, I asked her when she graduates high school, what is she going to do? She said, just try to find a husband, maybe marry someone in the military. I asked her again, in between that time, how is she going to pay her bills, her rent? She said she assumed she would be living at home. I told her no, and that she would be moving out. She could live at home if she gets a job or tries to get some kind of community college degree or certification. But that if she insists on being a deadbeat loser and waiting for a man to come and rescue her, she's on her own. This didn't go over well, and I am now being held up as totally unreasonable, mean, a huge bitch, etc. I don't think I'm wrong at all. I want to set her up for a lifetime of success and happiness. If this wonderful man who comes and whisks her away, knocks her up, etc., gets injured or dies, I don't want to have her come knocking at our door because she can't afford to take care of herself. Um, Oh, and then the lady like walked away. Anyway, okay, so that's the end of that. That's funny. She said she posted that like a long time ago and came back to it, and people like it got blown up or whatever.
Well, she said,
Okay,
"Oh
what do you
God,
think?
when I posted this when I was super agitated and walked away and forgot about it. Came back to see all the responses. Holy shit! Give me a
Listen, I
minute to
couldn't
catch up."
imagine as a mom with daughters. Ooh, I can't. If I would, I can't imagine some of the things I may have said if I realized there was any sort of like parenting subreddit at all. I'd probably be in the papers somewhere. Okay, so what do you think? Is she an asshole or
I'm
what?
gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go first. See what you have to say about this.
Well, like the first one, it's the snowflake, like the 17-year-old boy that sort of demanded his mom to buy his stuff. No, she's the mom. My vote is no. She's not being an asshole at all. Um, and it's fine that she wants to be a stay at home mom. I was a stay at home mom. I had four kids that for the daycare bill was I didn't have a college degree or I just had a high school diploma. So there was no pay. I couldn't get paid enough that then would then pay the daycare or whatever. Um, so I get the stay at home mom thing, but I don't know. I'm also, now wish that I did have something else to do. You know what I mean? That I did have a
Right.
career or something now that my kids don't need me anymore, really. But anyhow, it's fine that her goal is to be a stay at home mom, a trophy wife, whatever. But in the meantime, get yourself a job, get yourself some skills, do something. But just to, wait for that to happen. And, it's also going to set the girl up for potential failure. She'll be just looking for the first guy that's like, yeah, babe, you don't have to work. I don't care, and he's just saying that to who knows what. I don't know. And then he leaves her. So, yeah, no, I do not think she's an asshole. I think that the daughter needs a real good talking to. I think the mom probably could have been a little bit more, I don't know,
Diplomatic in
aggressive
how
with
she
her.
said, yeah, how
Diplomatic,
she,
yeah. She could have been more like the Polish girl talking to the
right.
adopted sister. This is a time where that maybe worked. But yeah, no, I mean, come on, really? Like I would be listen, if one of my daughters came to me and was like, I want to I want to be a stay-at-home mom and I'm not going to work or whatever. And versus like one of them coming to me being like, I want to get an OnlyFans, or I want to be a stripper. I would be more happy with that than them to just have a goal of staying at home and not doing anything for themselves,
Right.
fulfilling for themselves, something that they can have for their own money, their own education, their own whatever, their own nest egg, their own corner of their little life that's just for them, that doesn't have to do with her parents, her husband, her whatever.
It
Not that I
seems
want my
like
daughters to be strippers, but
what it is like it's okay to want to be a stay-at-home mom. That's there's nothing wrong with that. But
mhm,
to just be like you're not going to work, you're just basically looking waiting for the man to knock you up. In that sense, mom was definitely right about the way she said it. Like,
mhm,
she's got to do something, I mean, just be a
mhm,
clerk, do anything, what I mean?
mhm.
It's for one, um it doesn't make you more, like real attractive to like a guy either if you're just hanging
Have no
around the home.
ambition.
Yeah, you don't do anything. I'm sure that there are guys who, they kind of
Totally.
they want a Stepford wife, so I'm not going to say that that's not something that actually
They
happens.
I was gonna say they want a Stepford wife, but they end up sort of getting or creating like a barefoot and pregnant, dirty feet situation. Which I mean, I've been there before. So, but yeah, it's not really feasible nowadays. And nowadays, I just feel like there's so much this girl can do, that, and be a stay-at-home mom. She could be a stay-at-home mom and still, I don't know, find something of herself for
She
herself.
would be better off going to college because you'll probably find a better
Uh-huh.
husband going there. She'll be improving herself at the same time. Like I said, she doesn't have to go to college, but she's got to do something like staying at home or like I'm not sure what
Yeah.
like the plan doesn't seem real put together. Like what is she trying to do? Like I'm just gonna hang out with friends and then I'm gonna run into Mr. Right and we're gonna get married and have kids and he's gonna take care of me. And
That might happen, but to have, like the mom says, like, have a backup plan. Or okay, you know what? If you don't want a backup plan, then make sure your husband has really good health insurance, or life insurance and health insurance. So if he does pass away or something, then she won't then have to move in with her parents, because she'll have an insurance policy she can cash in on or something.
and it might show a guy like she doesn't really have a good worth. Is she really going to care for the kids well? Even though she might
Mhm.
be really super dedicated, it might be to like a
Mhm.
guy like she doesn't even want to work. Like, how much is she going to want to take care of our even when our kids? Is she just going to want to hang out, or you get what I'm trying to say? It's
Oh yeah, totally. Lazy. Yeah, like she's just a freeloader. Like, the husband will be raising a third daughter, basically. Like the wife will be another kid, and that's not, no guy wants that. No guy wants, you know,
expecting your
it.
parents also to be your safety net. I don't know if that's really
Right.
cool
Right.
either. Like have some kind of plan. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of people where let the state take care of them. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that I think
Mhm.
has kind of destroyed the family in a sense. Like I am for all of these programs, but in a sense they also like they don't need a mate. You know what I'm trying? They could be like the
Right.
single mother, and it's I don't think it's good for any either not to have a mother or to not to have a father. I think you should
Yeah.
have. It shows you how a good relationship works. If you have it, you have parents. You know what I'm trying to say? There, it's more
Mhm.
than one. It's like I said, it's if you just have mom and she can be a great mom, but if you don't have both mom and dad, it's just not good.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
there are all these
Yeah.
statistics that show that that they're some of the highest crime. You know what I mean? Like the ones who
Mhm.
are going to prison or the ones who don't have parents. You know what I mean? They don't have the
Mhm.
both both parents. They either have just a mom or um.
Mhm.
I mean, what do you think about like I said you know what I'm talking about what the state does with
Oh,
just
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I agree. I think anything, oh, I would have, I need to be careful with my word choices. Yeah, I no, I agree.
Being
Here's
careful
another,
there.
yeah, here's um yeah, there could be one person watching and you just still never know. Anyhow, here's an example. I One of my daughters is 21. She graduated high school, moved away, moved actually out of the state, went to college, graduated, came home, and she's living back with us, but she's setting up just yesterday was her first day. She opened up her own aesthetics practice. So she is, like really working her ass off and doing everything on her own. I mean, she started her own business, so she had to make the calls to the insurance company and the bank to set up a business banking account and get her business. I mean, I didn't do anything. The only thing I did was sand a dresser for her and help her put new knobs on. You know what I mean? Like she
And
had
what
to
is
do it
this
all.
business? What kind of business is this?
Aesthetics, so like like facial stuff,
Okay, sure, sure.
yeah, yeah, waxing, like all sorts of things. But she is doing it all on, all on her own. All her none of it is coming from us, and she's, now going to work part-time. She's been working full-time, but now she's going to work part-time, and then, keep building her aesthetics business. And but she lives at home because she moved back home from school, and she's getting, her feet on the ground and saving money and, paying stuff off as well and everything. So that's different. She didn't just stay home after she graduated high school and did nothing,
Right, right, right.
Um, she didn't go to college and come home and is doing nothing. Like she's on a mission and, completing things and, working her butt off. So that's like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine that she's moved home for those reasons versus, moving home to wait for Mr., Right to come around and, knock her up or whatever.
And Peter,
So,
Peta, Petahine brings up, says, what if she finds out she can't have any kids?
oh,
So
I didn't even think of that.
I didn't even
Yeah,
think
then
about that myself.
what are you going to do? Yeah, I guess, she can, okay. I guess she can adopt and, um, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Or what if there are so many problems with that. I didn't even think about that. What if the guy says, "Yeah, we can have kids," and then they get married, and he's really like, "Yeah, no, I was just joking." I don't know. It's. I guess that's a far
That also
shot,
kind
but
of gets
still.
addressed in one of the other few. It's one of it's the last one. I'm not sure if you read it. I got a chance to read it. The last one I added onto it, but it's got to that actually is going to
Uh,
kind of get addressed by one of the. It's the last one that we're going to wind up talking about, but um,
oh.
yeah, it's something like I said to think about. I think you really, I,
Oh wait.
I go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if there's anybody in the chat, is there anybody in the chat that thinks the mom is wrong, that the mom is the asshole?
It's kind of quiet. it's
Yeah.
it's kind of
Are
it's
three people? Three
yeah,
people.
yeah, well, yeah, no one's really participating too much, just coming in
That's
saying hi,
okay.
but that's okay,
Yeah, no, yeah,
Gotta start
yeah,
somewhere,
definitely.
and we're,
Absolutely.
put
Yeah,
it
for
this way, it's
sure.
the first time it actually worked. The last time I had like 50 people in here, and they're all talking away,
Oh,
but
that's so
they were
sad.
talking, they were talking to each other, it's like,
Yeah,
it was funny because we spent the first 10 minutes talking about, me and Farad are talking for like 10 minutes, and they're like, let me just look at the chat. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Everybody's like, there's no
nobody's,
audio.
yeah, that's
Everybody's like,
funny.
oh, I think
Huh.
they're talking. Krista believes that mom is definitely in the right. I got to go with mom too. I mean,
Hmm.
I, I don't, I don't want to, be too pushy about, but she needs, she's not an asshole for sure. She probably could have handled it better in her
Hmm.
communication with
Yeah.
it, but I think she's right in that she wants the best for her daughter, and
Yeah, nobody wants to see their kid set themselves up for failure, especially after as the parent, you feel like you didn't, that's not ever what you intended on when you raised your kid, and you gave them choices and sort of provided a life and led them down a certain path, and you feel like you built their character up and made them strong who they are, like you just, I don't know, and then to come out like that, it's the opposite of what the mom obviously intended and
Right.
ever thought that that's how it would be. I
Right.
see a huge spider. Oh, you guys.
So I'm gonna. Debbie wants to know. She thinks she's not sure if we're talking. I probably it's about Michael Long. No, we're not talking about any. This is like not tea or anything. There's a
Oh,
Reddit that talks
it's
about.
a subreddit thread. Like it's called, like, yeah, am I the asshole? And people write in with their stories of something that they did, and they obviously they feel a little bit bad about it, but they also feel, I guess, dignified and or justified in what they did, but they wonder if they're the assholes for doing what they did. And then people sound off on the Reddit, in comments.
And you see what Krista has to say. She's like, I've actually been a housewife when my husband joined
I'm a
the
housewife.
army. What's that? You say it? Yeah, I'll let you
I'm a
read it.
house. No, I can't see it.
No.
I was just saying I'm a
Oh, okay.
housewife. Yeah.
No, I know. She's talking about her experience. She goes, "I've actually been a housewife when my husband joined the army. It was super unfulfilling, but it was so uncommon in the military. None of the wives on our street worked, and none had kids either. That's kind of unusual because that
Wow.
used to be the. I
That
thought
would,
a
yeah, I
lot
would
of
have
the
thought it would be the
military was.
opposite.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought as well.
There's a spider. You guys have to kill it. I'll push mute. Oh, I'm watching.
It's gonna get you. Go ahead. It's got you're freaked out. You're muted, just so you know. So that's unusual, Krista. I would have thought like the military was someplace that she backing it up that had a lot of kids. That was more of a traditional thing. But okay,
Yeah, I push mute because I have a little
yep,
vacuum
vacuum
sucker thing
cleaner.
that if
So
I see a spider, I'll vacuum.
that's right.
But it's making a funny noise, so I'm wondering if it's going out, and I'm not sure what. Oh well. Okay, we're good. Okay, sorry. All right. Yeah, I
Okay.
can't. Mama, no F's with the spiders. Okay. Do you want to go on to the next one?
Yep. We could go on to the next one. Let me just go into the studio here. And
Hmm.
so this one definitely he got. You could see he got the red. He's the asshole.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Okay, I'm floating. Okay. Oh, okay. That's what that means. I didn't
Yep.
notice. What is,
Yes.
hold on, what is WIBTA stand for?
Would I be the asshole?
Is that okay? So, would I be the asshole? Okay. So, if I refuse to go to my daughter's wedding because my wife isn't invited. Okay, here we go. Oh, I remember this. I kind of agree with the dad, I think. Okay, here we go. I never wanted children. I was always careful, always wore a condom, but somehow I ended up getting my ex pregnant. I begged her to abort or to consider adoption, but she wanted to keep the pregnancy. We ended up moving in together. I met my wife around the same time. We were in the same friend group, and I was instantly very attracted to her. I guess people call it an emotional affair. I told her about my problems, and she was supportive and believed and believed if a woman could abort, a man should have the right to walk away. My ex gave birth to twins and I stayed for 6 months. But honestly, I just didn't love them. I didn't want to be a father. The feelings weren't there and I was becoming very depressed. I hated my life, and I think if I stayed, I would have ended up severely depressed or an alcoholic. My wife graduated around that time and was moving back to California. We were in New York. so across the country. She said I should come with her and start over. She said something that really stuck with me about how if I don't walk away now, I can't do it in 5 years. And right now is the moment to hurt my kids the least. I told my ex that it wasn't working and I didn't want to be a dad. I moved to California and married my wife, but I paid all of my child support, paid for their education, extracurriculars, etc. When the twins were 18, they wanted to meet me and I felt ready. My son and I built a good relationship, but my daughter hates my wife. She wants her to apologize for telling me it was all right to leave, which obviously, even if she did say that, I'm the one that made the decision. My daughter is getting married and recently said my wife is not invited. I told her that is incredibly disrespectful and you can't invite half of a couple. She said she is selfish and evil and just said those things. So I'd move with her. I've fully paid for this wedding. I've fully paid for this wedding, which I probably wouldn't have if I knew this ahead of time. But I told her I will not publicly disrespect my wife. And then it says, edit, I'm deleting this account, but someone told me that people are looking up the username and harassing some lawyer. My wife is not a lawyer. Please, can, oh man, please, you can think I'm a mega asshole, but leave this woman alone. Oh no, I didn't read that before.
I didn't even see that. Okay, I didn't even
So
see
there
that
are
myself.
people that are going after the wife. Okay, so um he said he never wanted my phone's gonna fall. He said that he never wanted to be a father and that he was always very careful. But he didn't actually specifically say whether or not he told his, baby mama, girlfriend at the time that he didn't want to be a dad. I mean, I'm assuming he did, like make sure you're on birth control, right? Or, we're going to use a
Right,
condom, right? Because I don't want to
right.
have kids. I'm assuming that's what happened. Um, I believe both parents have the right to choose whether or not they want to be a parent. Um, I mean, it's one of those things. The guy has every right to do what he did, does say. It's an asshole move, but he had every right to. That may be the unpopular opinion, but I kind of stay with that. And I wouldn't go to the wedding either. If my husband couldn't go,
Right,
I
right.
mean, unless if I didn't like my husband and was like, yeah, fine, let's go, I'll leave the jerk at home or whatever. But no, that shows that somebody can come between the marriage, and I'm not. I don't know. I understand though being. I don't understand this 'cause I've never been through it. I can't understand what it would be like, I guess, to be this daughter and feel like my, biological dad, chose a woman over me. Um, Even when she's an adult and has kids, if she were to revisit this situation, I don't know if that would even change her mind, might even make her feeling stronger. I think, the dad was a bit of an asshole, but I think he had every right to. He still paid for his kids. That's the other thing.
Well,
He
the only
could have,
problem
I
I
guess,
got is he
walked
wasn't
away
part
and
of
set
their
his rights
life.
away.
He wasn't part
Right.
of their life. That's the part I find. Yeah, paying is one thing, but
Mhm.
not getting to know them until
Mhm.
they're 18 years old. That's
Listen, that's yeah, no, I don't know why he didn't then just sign his rights away. Do you know what I mean?
I think he kind of did. You know what I mean? He's not,
No,
but
because he
he.
still had to pay, he still had to pay child support.
Well, I think
He
even
paid for all their
if you
stuff.
sign your rights away, you still got to pay. It's
No, you
yeah.
don't. You're not
Oh,
like
okay.
you're done. You step away and you are done. That means you're done. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that means that you have zero, because at least if you're paying child support, you have some right to the child to some extent.
Well, that's what
Um,
bothers me is that he didn't. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, yeah, yeah, I know. Like, I can't
He
imagine
had some.
having kids and
Right.
never want
Not
anything to
not
do
wanting
with
to
them.
see them. Yeah, that's the thing that gets me. I
Did
agree with
it
what.
say,
Go
go
on.
ahead. Well, did it say in there if he ever had kids with his now wife or no? Does it say anything about that?
No,
If
it
he
didn't.
had,
It didn't discuss that at all. Whether he
I want
has another family or not.
part of me part of me thinks he has another family because if he
Yeah,
didn't
me
have
too.
kids, I wonder if he would have then specifically said like, I don't have I don't know. It's an asshole move. He's kind of a dick human being, but he was straightforward and he still paid for everything. So it's like it was almost like he met his obligation. It's almost like he, by providing for them, he kind of like met obligations in a sense that
Yes.
he was saying like, I don't want anything to do with this, but still paid for it. I mean, like, here you have dads that see their kids are in their kids' life and they don't pay shit, you know?
I think
And
they
they
both
get married
handled it
and have
very maturely. Like she's like,
mhm,
okay, if you're
mhm.
gonna walk away now, well, don't leave in 5 years when, the kid's gonna know you, and
Right. Yeah. I mean
you're the
there's
that's gonna
there's no
devastate them more.
yeah. I mean there's no right way to say that, but like if they're 6 months old and you leave, they're not gonna remember you. It's not gonna
Right.
it'll I mean there might be I don't know, I just yeah, the damage is a little bit different. Of course, if you damage the mom though, you're also damaging a child too, because kids feed off of especially the parent that is doing the majority of the parenting. If I had a like when my kids were babies or little, whether I said I'm in a bad mood or not, they knew it. You know, if I was sad, they knew it. If I was upset, they knew, I mean, even if I didn't say like something bad happened today, so mom's in a bad mood, I mean, kids are really intuitive. So I'm sure that
Right. Right. Right.
the
Right.
twins grew up, but also forgetting that the son built a relationship with the dad, and they sound like pretty rock solid now as adults. I mean, I think that guys can, tend to not be as emotional and internal. Everything's really kind of cut and dry sometimes, not all the time. But, so maybe the adult son is like, yeah, dude, I get it. Like I
Right.
wouldn't
Right.
have wanted to, I just I would have wanted
Except
to
for
have
like the
sex
way
and
that
not
what
have a
Red
kid.
said
Yeah.
is like how like she was saying how guys when they get older, um, they get more emotional, which is
Yeah,
it's true
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I
That's
think
so
just older
sweet.
people
Yeah.
do that, yeah, in general.
Mhm. Oh yeah, yeah. My husband cries easier than I do. Not that he's old, but yeah,
Right.
my dad's a softie and he's like it's such a manly man. But yeah, no. Yeah, I mean it's one of those things that I don't know. I think the guy is an asshole. It sucks, but I feel like he did have his rights. I'm impressed that he paid for him, to be honest with you. That he
Right.
paid child support and sent the
Especially in this
money
day and
and
age, right.
oh yeah. I mean, it's one of
I
those
think he
things.
got in
And
trouble himself in trouble with the thread by saying, if I knew about all of this stuff, I wouldn't have paid. Like I bet you that didn't fly well with the people in
mhm.
general.
Mhm. But again, see, he's stepping in and doing something that, he could have been doing it out of guilt or whatever. And I don't know. Again, child support does not pay for your kids' life, all of it. It doesn't.
Right, right,
There's
right.
so many things. So this guy grew up, I'm assuming, with no kids, or got married and got to experience life with no kids. So whatever money he and his wife made was their own to do whatever they wanted with. Maybe he's very financially stable and secure and he had money to, I don't know, pay for the wedding. But okay, but on the other side of it, the daughter has every right to, it's her wedding. The daughter has every right to
Right,
say,
right.
like,
Yep.
you can come, but your wife can't. So I don't know. I wouldn't expect then him to come if his wife couldn't. So it's like, yeah, he's an asshole, but it's his right, kind of.
I used to see
I
a
don't
lot of
know.
this when, because I did wedding photography, where
Yeah.
you get these parents who, even though it's the kid's wedding, they still got to carry on their gripe. Or like, I had one, and actually the guy really thanked me because I talked him out of it. He wouldn't be in the same room
That's what I
with
was
the,
going to bring up. Yeah.
with the mother during the wedding, and
Mhm.
it's like, but that's, it's your daughter's wedding. Suck it up. I told him, I go, just
You're
it's
the
not about
dad.
you, it's about her. Like just for five,
Mhm.
just do it for her. And I remember I got a big tip out of it because they did take pictures. They didn't talk, but
But
I
they
think
they made it, yeah.
they took
It
pictures
was
together.
cordial.
I'm trying to say they did. They were in the same room.
Mhm.
They didn't ruin the daughter's wedding by
Right, right. That's the
by
biggest, yeah. When
carrying
I
on
did
their
wedding
little.
Yeah, no, because parents can be, even though they're the adults, doesn't mean they're the mature ones. I mean,
Right, right,
yeah, when I did weddings, I would have that, or when like the bride would want both moms or both dads in the picture, or, or the bride would come to me and say, like, I really want to get a picture of just my mom and dad, but I don't want to say it. I
right,
don't
right.
want my
I had
stepdad to be
that.
upset or
Yep,
my
yep,
stepmom.
yep.
Yeah, so then I would say, hey, can I get,
Were you a
I'd find
photographer?
out
Did you
their
do this?
yeah, I would find out their first names instead of saying,
Okay.
"Can I get the mom and dad?" or whatever,
Right,
I would say, like, basically, "Can I get Sue and Bob real quick, and then I'll get,
right.
the rest, whatever." But yeah, that's besides the point. But anyway, that's, yeah, it's it's tough dealing with, you know,
I would get
any.
corrected every now. I would try to do that, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, but I don't want to exclude, just as Bob, who's like the stepdad or something.
Oh,
I don't mind if they're together, but I don't want to exclude him. So at least have the
right.
three of them together,
Mhm.
which was fine. I would
Oh
try to
yeah.
get just the parents because that way they can have,
Oh
they
yeah.
can have that
Oh
picture.
yeah,
But
you can do
you got
all
to
the
be
I
careful
think
about
I
it.
would do all the combinations. Yeah, get just
That's
the
what I did.
stepmom and
Yeah.
the bride and the yeah, I mean it's one of those things, but I always just tried to take the pressure off the bride and groom if they were dealing with step parents, especially if it was
Right.
volatile at all. If there was if one of them had like, a major issue or, and sometimes it wasn't even the divorced parents. Sometimes it would be like the ex-mother-in-law, so like the bride's grandma and the bride's mom having issues with it, but anyhow, you know, there's a few things at play there. It's like he paid for a wedding. He won't go if his wife can't. But
Right.
I don't know. To
Debbie
if
brings up
my
a point.
husband
It sounds like the daughter is being influenced by her mother, which
I
it
was
does
gonna
kind.
Debbie, I was gonna say the exact same thing. I was gonna ask, like, I wonder what the relationship with the mom is and the daughter, and the relationship with the mom and son, and do the dad and the mom talk at all? Like, what was the correspondence between the mom and what was the correspondence between the mom and the dad like through this? Because
Right, right.
when when I would get child support, when I got it, it would be sent to like a bank account, and I had a debit card for it. So theoretically, we really didn't have to speak if we didn't want to. So and where they lived across, like what, New York, California, they're cross
Wow.
country.
Yeah.
So
Sure, sure, sure.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, did they even have to communicate? Did they communicate? I mean, yeah, Debbie, I'm curious. Was there how, what's going on? Yeah, is she being influenced? Or, yeah, was the daughter being influenced? Or, does the daughter just hate on her own?
Because I would, like I said, it's another thing I would see a lot of is, like they carry on their little feud. They carry on their
Yeah,
divorce during the
yeah.
actual wedding, which is, it's not, you shouldn't do that. You really shouldn't.
Anytime they can get a dig in, they stick that knife in further. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Right,
some
right.
people just, sometimes it's contentious and it's hard, it can be really difficult. But yeah,
Okay. So we got one last one. So I don't
okay,
know.
what one is it?
I don't. I think we disagree with the general consensus that he was the asshole because I don't think he
Mm,
was. I think
yeah.
that both parents kind of were mature about it. Um, as far as up until this point, and now they're not handling it as well. You know what I mean? Because if he
Mhm.
goes, it's probably going to be in an uncomfortable situation, and yeah, why not invite her? You know what I mean? I don't understand why
Yeah.
you know, it's not like it's not like, I can see if you're like, oh, well, she wants to dance with my husband or something like, what I'm trying to say,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
those kind of
Oh
things,
yeah,
that would be
definitely.
different. Um, yeah, so Debbie says she doesn't think the mom wants the wife to be there, but
Probably
he
not.
seems like he has like a really good marriage because it's not like
I
this is,
know.
he doesn't say this is my third, it seems like he's been with that same woman that whole time. So it's at least 18 years, I guess, that he's been with her. So,
Mhm.
that's his
Right,
wife.
yeah.
Things don't work out a lot of times between couples, and it seemed like one of those
Yeah.
situations. So, I think they,
Okay.
go on.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, okay, I can read the next one.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to our last one, which is
It's called Am I the Asshole for Not Giving My Ex Mother in Law My Address? And I haven't read this one at all. I haven't even
this
looked it
is a
over.
rough one. This is a rough one.
Okay. Okay, I'll hold on. Let's hear. Okay. My husband and I divorced last year because I got pregnant. He didn't want the baby. And until
So it's kind
last
of like what we
April,
just, you see how I was
right,
talking about how it related to the something you mentioned
right,
earlier, the other
right.
thread that we talked
The
about.
baby, yeah, not one baby. Yeah. Let's hear. I got pregnant. Okay. He didn't want the baby. And until last April, I was still living in our rented flat while he made arrangements to move out. His mother had our address and would frequently come by, both before and after he moved out, to check on me as she knew about my pregnancy and was concerned for the baby. I had miscarried previously. She actually took my side in the divorce, or at least she took her grandson's side, calling my ex an arse when he requested no custody of the baby at all. However, over the first 3 months post divorce, her visits went from once a month to a few times a week. I asked my ex to talk to her. He still lived there, but he just sort of shrugged it off and said it wasn't his problem. I then said to her, in the nicest way possibly, that the visits had to stop, or at the very least, she had to ask first. She had a key to our place. The ex gave it to her when we moved in for emergencies. So she'd just show up and let herself in whenever she felt like it. She apologized for overstepping and said she would let me know from now on, but nothing changed after that, despite reminding slash warning her a few times when I did say something. She'd say that she was concerned for me slash the baby, and as I don't have a mother, I needed someone checking in and helping out like she was. I had the baby back in February and said no visitors. She let herself in again and did so repeatedly throughout February and March, despite me telling her not to. No text to let me know, no warning whatsoever, just show up and ask me to make her a cup of tea while she interacted with the baby. The lease was up in April, and due to work a situation, it made sense to move, even with a newborn. I told her I was moving, but didn't give an address. For the last 5 months, we've been in communication, and she's seen the baby over video calls and me physically going to her house a couple of times. But when I moved into my new place, she asked for a key. I thought this was weird as she's not my mother, so I just said no, which she accepted, though seemed disappointed. She's still asking for my new address. I'm still not giving it to her. She's gotten my ex involved and he asked for my address so he can give it to his mother. I said no, and that my concern is that she'll just start inviting herself over and show up randomly, both which are things I don't need with a 7 month old when I'm also newly back to work. He said that I have to give her a chance to prove me right or wrong, and I should give the address and then set boundaries about if slash when she can come over, and I said I'd rather just continue meeting at her place or over video. X called me difficult, bitchy, and hung up. I talked slash ranted to my brother, who agreed with them, saying I should let her have the address, and that if nothing else would make my life easier, that I should at least give her a chance. Am I the asshole? Oh, I have a couple feelings about this one too. What do you think?
This is well, you know, uh, it's kind of it's another one of those really divided ones because she was supportive of,
You
she
can
said
see
her
both sides.
her son was an arse, as she said, and
Yeah.
it is her grandchild. But the thing about letting herself in, that's a big deal. Um,
Oh, yeah.
just
Yeah.
coming, or just popping in unannounced is another huge deal. Because sometimes you're just not up to it. You're worn out. You're taking
No.
care of the baby. Um, your place isn't the nicest. Um, so I see her point, and if she's
Mhm.
still continuing to, do like Skype kind, like still showing the baby off. So
Mhm.
not just disappearing. You know what I'm trying to say, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
still having physical
Letting
visits.
them letting having actual physical communication, like having, where she gets actual contact and visitation
Right.
with, or gets to
She's
visit with the baby. Yeah.
she's going over to that house. So
Mhm.
she's doing all the right things. So it's kind of hard to say how she's being the asshole, and it's just, but it's hard to be against the mother, um,
Mhm.
because I mean, the grandmother, because hey, like that's her grandbaby, and she
Mhm.
obviously loves the kid, and she's trying to be supportive of the mother, but like the way he says, well, you should just give her a chance to, be proven wrong. Well, if she does this, what is she going to do? Does she have to move then? I mean,
She
that's the big
exactly.
part.
Yeah. She didn't stop the first time when she stopped. Yeah. I yeah, this is tough. I think I don't think she's an asshole. I think just because she had already been through the situation. If she hadn't, then it would be different. And she just assumed the mother-in-law, had no idea, just assumed. Then, I'd be like, what's wrong with giving her the address? Like my ex mother-in-law knows my address or whatever. But that mother-in-laws can be so difficult. And when it's not your mother-in-law, but it's less in a sense, you have a connection with somebody that you'll never not have because you have a child with somebody. So it's like
Right,
it's kind of not a chosen connection. Like if
right,
they
right,
were to have gotten married and that, but like I like okay, my mother-in-law could come in and I could be asleep and my kids could have been running all over me. There could have been who knows? She would not have cared. She would have been like, "What can I help you with?"
right,
Like,
right,
"What do
right,
you need?" That's so rare and in between. And she just truly is not judgmental. But like, you can't just step in somebody's house, especially another woman and especially another mother. Like, but on the other hand, if she could have some sort of boundaries with the mother-in-law, this is a great outlet, like somebody to have on your side that's
yes,
helping you with the baby.
right.
It's a biological grandparent, which family is really the best,
It's
if
huge. Yeah, it's huge.
yeah, I mean, if you yeah, to be able to, I would much rather be like, hey, I would rather have the baby go stay with the grandma today than with sort of a random person or a babysitter. I mean, to have family, the closeness and, with the baby. And it's so important for kids to have connection with their family members, if they can and if it's healthy. If it's not, then no, that's the other thing. Like, it's kind of not healthy and the mother-in-law kind of doesn't, or not even mother-in-law, but the, the grandma doesn't have, I guess, self awareness and some social boundaries and doesn't know, just stop. And so does that mean if she's so overbearing and she's so willing to keep coming in and showing up and letting herself in, not even knocking, that, does that mean that she'll try to not take the kid, but you never know, overstep her boundaries there and, um, maybe give the kid his first haircut or I don't know, let him try peanut butter before he's old enough. Or I don't know. It's just
Well,
sometimes grandparents can.
did you see this comment, the second one down? Um,
Yeah, I didn't
jumping
look at
in on
anything.
it says jumping in on this comment. Did you see that one? Maybe you should read that
Huh.
because this is true too. This is possibly
Okay. The second
it's
comment.
yeah. Let me see. Gingivitis. 10 hours ago, it
Sorry.
says. Oh, well, I downloaded it. It says, jumping in on this comment to add, she could potentially use her visits as evidence of some kind of child abuse, neglect, and attempt to take custody of her
Yeah.
grandchild. This kind of
Yeah.
maneuvering
Yeah.
could be her setting up a truthful history of her helping
Yeah.
OP, which is, original poster, out because they couldn't manage raising one child alone, could also allege that the living conditions are unsafe, etc. So, in summary, don't let her visit or know the address. OP gets no benefit, and it opens themselves up to liability. Now, I don't agree that
Right.
they gain no benefit at all. That's that
Yeah,
that I don't agree with. You know what I mean? That's
that's
like
that's really, yeah, that
no one's
especially
gonna.
if
Very few people are gonna love that child like a grandmother or grandfather.
exactly, yeah. And just that's the, I don't know, usually the safer choice. I mean, that's the
Well,
safer choice to be, um, in charge, babysitting, to anything, the safer choice to have, if the grandparent can be the first, option, especially for a single parent.
well,
So
as you
it's
know, that
too,
you just need some time away sometime, and that's
you need, yeah. And then having, it's so important to have that relationship with your kids, to have a relationship with their grandparents. It's so
right, right.
important to, if they can, and eventually, they might become, I don't know. Yeah, I guess eventually kids always find out. They find out the truth. They realize, like, if, the grandparents are jerks, or if they're, doing something wrong. But in the meantime, I just think that, I don't know, it's tough. I think that maybe giving her the address is okay, but not the key.
Uh, well, you could see her point was that she'll just start to show up because you could tell
Show up, right.
she's definitely not giving her the key. That's not
True.
even, um,
Yeah, true. She's already proved, what does Dr. Phil say? The best predictor of future behavior is past relevant behavior. So since
right.
already been, since she's already proved herself to be showing up and to be, unannounced, and even though she's been told not to, who knows what the son, the baby daddy is saying, but to the mama, it doesn't sound like, I don't know, he doesn't even care, it doesn't sound like. So he's probably really offers no help or whatever, other than maybe he tells his mom, yeah, go over there, go check on the kid. I mean, who knows? But, I don't know. I don't know.
Uh,
I don't
it's
think this girl is being an asshole.
Did you see what Peta says? My ex mother-in-law has the key to my house, but she lives 2,000 miles away. Laugh. Doesn't
Perfect.
pop in often.
That's the best kind of ex-mother-in-law to have.
Well, like it
That's
depends
funny.
on whether they're a good grandma. You know what I mean? If they're
Yeah.
helping and they do what you ask instead of, oh, I think you need this. I know you don't want it,
Mhm.
but let me help you in this
Mhm.
way. I mean, this is something I had to learn. You know what I mean? This is part of, like, I'm always one of those ones who wants to help like all the time. So it's like
Right.
you find out that it, help that's
You're
not asked
stepping on
for.
toes or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
it's not asked for. It's not always really wanted. So you got to
It's
be
not received
careful with
well sometimes.
it's
Right.
it's yeah, you know what I mean? Even though I would see it as being
Mhm.
helpful, someone else would see it just like
Mhm.
exactly what, the grandma, oh, I'm just coming in with, I'm letting myself in just to make sure you're okay,
Uh-huh.
So,
Right.
she sees it as being helpful, but, it's not so
It's
much.
definitely, yeah, it's definitely a thin line, and it's hard, and where she had already, had the key and kept showing up, not calling, and she'll cross lines. It'll just get easier. Like I said, she'll be the one that gives the baby the first haircut or something. And then, all hell's going to break loose. And, and then it's just no good. And then they have zero relationship. And then not only will the grandma not see the baby, but she's going to lose some privileges. And it's just all because she was, maybe being a little too pushy, you
Yes,
know?
trying to do too much. Like I said,
Hmm.
what I talked about, it's like help that's not asked for is not always the best
Right.
the best thing to have.
Yeah.
Not the best thing to do. Um, so what do you call it? Krista says, "Why is the grandma not satisfied with seeing the baby in her own home? It's a little
Yeah.
weird how persistent
Yeah.
she is." That's what really is a
Yeah.
like warning sign to me. It's like it's what I talked about. She is being has access to the child, so it's not like she's like she,
I forgot, Chris. I totally forgot about that. And in her home, exactly. I mean, that's in her own home too. She's getting the baby brought to her. Yeah,
so she's
yeah.
getting the physical contact. It's not just, oh well, I only see him, virtually. No, she's
Mhm.
letting the, grandmother have contact with the baby and
Mhm.
interacting with the children, and that's kind of weird that that's not good enough. I don't know what
Yeah.
to say about that.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I don't think this lady's an asshole. I don't think she gets the asshole award or whatever. I think I think there's a fine line with the mother-in-law or the not even mother-in-law, but the grandma that she crossed, and it could have been so easy for her. That's the thing. I just wish the grandma could have had it go. She could have had, I don't know, she could have set herself up really good with baby time, with grandbaby time. So it's her own fault for showing up and being overbearing and stuff like that. But and I sometimes I wish there was more information. Like, is the baby daddy not in the life at all? Is the yeah, I don't know. Like, the going back to the story about the dad that said I didn't want kids and then paid for the
Right,
daughter's wedding, and
right,
going back to
right.
that, like, yeah, is the ex-wife or the mother of the kids, does she have a problem? Where is it? Sometimes I wish there was more information, but that doesn't matter. It's like, you can kind of get the basics for everything from just what they said and make your, I guess, judgment off of that. Yeah. So I don't think this mom is an asshole. It's her kid. You got to do what you got to. It's your life. You got to do what you got to do and what you think is best.
Kind of the polar opposite of this other grandma, the dad. Like I said, that's the one thing that really bothers me about the dad. Like, I didn't find him a bad guy, but the fact that he didn't want anything to do with the
I know.
kids for
I
18
know.
years, I don't know how
Listen,
you would ever do that.
no, me either. Especially after seeing them, it's like you say you don't want kids or you don't want anything to do with them, and then they come and you're still like, no. But the one thing for me, just personally for me, that makes me see his point at that he was adamant, like, I don't want kids. I don't want kids. And he did everything, I guess, that he was supposed to do. The girl obviously didn't have birth control, whatever it was, like,
Right,
he
right.
was adamant, I don't want these kids. That mom should not have aborted those kids or given those kids up for adoption. I am not saying that. Like, she needed to make her decision and, keep those kids. But knowing that, but then also he stays in there, he says, I don't want kids. And then he goes ahead and continues to move in with her and stay around for 6 months, you know, although he was having an emotional affair and off in La La Land. The baby mama didn't know that. And, the longer every day that they stayed together or that he stayed there and stayed, in that same home, probably gave her, I guess, the feeling of this is going to work. Every day probably just gave her a little bit more hope that, like, he will stay, or he is going to be a dad and he does love these babies, or,
Right,
whatever.
right, right, right.
But that's hard. But six
Well, like
months
you said, at least
also
he
is,
did the right thing. He wasn't a deadbeat dad. Put it this way, like someone we know,
yeah, yeah,
uh, like Jason. You know what I mean? Doesn't even want to pay for his own children. You know what I mean? His own mother,
yeah,
his mom's got to take him to court for it.
yeah.
But
His
I don't
It's
want to
his
get into
mom
too
that's
much
doing
of
that.
that. Yes, his mother. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say allegedly. I mean,
Yeah,
but allegedly,
hypothetically, like, be extras.
he had a substance abuse problem
Hmm.
himself and his mother. So his mother took custody of the children, which is a great thing. You know what I mean? Like, um, God bless her for doing something like that. But that then he didn't pay for um, the children. And she took him to court
Okay.
over child support.
Yeah. Well,
Basically.
good. Yeah. Good.
And so Krista
Good.
thinks she's definitely not an asshole. I don't think so either. Um,
No. Yeah. I don't think so
but
either.
it's almost like I feel sorry for the
It's
grandma. She's being too
ye-
needy or too pushy.
yeah. It's the pushy situation. Yeah. She's just a little pathetic. She's coming off a little pathetic. It's kind of, you kind of pity her for being that way. Is all. But
Well, that might be the
the girl
only
isn't the
grandkid.
asshole
So you
though.
know how they really do. If it's an only grandchild, they that's like they're
It's,
that's almost like they're having another child. They get
it's
to relive
yeah, oh
that
yeah.
again.
Especially if this lady has wanted to be a grandma for some time, and it's just, yeah, hopefully she'll get, her shit together and, maybe stay in her boundaries and, maybe she can get some more, I don't know, leniency or whatever. But yeah, no, yeah, the mom is not an asshole for not giving the
No,
grandma.
the key especially. I don't know about
Yeah.
and like I said, since she's shown herself to like she said I told her about it and she says oh no I won't do it anymore, but then she kept doing it. You know what I mean? Well, that's that track record. The Dr. Phil thing you were just talking about, where
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So
Mhm.
I don't know what
Yep.
to say about that.
Yeah. So there were four. Did we read four or five?
That's five. That's the last one. That's it. We
Yeah.
got through
So
the
how
list.
many was there? One, just one asshole?
The dad was the only one who was considered the asshole, which we're
Yeah.
kind of not so sure he should have been considered an
I
asshole.
mean, he was an asshole, but he had it was his right, not every right, but
Right.
he was an asshole, but it was kind of like his right. It's kind of like, I don't know, like, don't park there because like mud's gonna get slung on your car if you do, okay? And then you park there and
Right.
mud's slung on your car, and then you get pissed at me. It's like,
Well, yeah,
yeah, maybe I
talking
didn't
about.
have to sling it, but I told you, I don't know. That's not a good analogy.
Well,
But
I
anyway,
gotta give him props because I would probably respect my wife that way too. I don't know how would I if I was like with my I don't know if you say new wife, but my wife for almost 20 years or 20 years, and then um,
well, that's right because they're at least 18, like you said. So they've
right.
been married for at least 18 years. Yeah.
So how can
Yeah.
I just say, you know what, you just stay here. I'm gonna, indulge my daughters.
Mhm.
But it is her wedding, so I guess the best thing would be to stay away,
Just
which is a
stay
terrible
away.
thing to have to do. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because you want to be there.
Especially a
Uh,
wedding you paid for.
right.
That's
See,
the tough part too. He paid for it and he can't go and like everybody, yeah, I don't know. But on the other hand, like I don't know. I don't know. If my husband went without me, I would be like, yeah, we're
you
not,
would be
yeah.
in
Good
not.
luck. You're not going to have a very good fucking month, buddy, if you do this. I'm going to have a hard time coming around. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's tough. But yeah, so one asshole out of five, that's not too bad, right?
No, and like I said, I can't really nail him as a total asshole either. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
he's respecting his wife is what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm checking. So I didn't seeing the things I should have fixed, like these little. You're not seeing the stream, but I'm seeing the little things I should have fixed. It would have made
Oh,
the the text a little easier to read. Um, but I can't, like I said, it would be really disrespecting to his wife if he's just like, yeah, well, it's okay, whatever, whatever she wants, it's okay. I don't. It's such a hard, That's why I enjoy
yeah.
these threads,
Well,
because
no, me too. When you asked or whatever, if we could do it or if I'd be interested or whatever, I like, even though you've never had a baby and then left those babies after they were 6 months old and paid their child support and then whatever, even though you've never been through that or had a baby and then the mother-in-law, I mean, like, even though we've never been through this, it's like everybody has an opinion on it. It's pretty like, pretty simple to know, like you can judge things without going through it, but it's funny, it's interesting.
I felt bad.
It's
Pettis says that um, okay, maybe mother-in-law hates the son too and wants
yeah.
to get away from him, I guess. Fe
Sh-
him.
Yeah.
Uh,
She's either like hates him and wants to get away, or she's like obsessed with him. And so it's like the baby is an extension of him. So it's like more,
right,
more,
right,
you know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right.
Yeah, it's probably one or the two, one or the other. The one that is so irritating to me the most though is the Xbox one. Is the one or the, with the son and
Yes.
the ex-husband. Like I am like
He
irritated
was
with the
the yeah.
17-year-old kid being upset that he feels like, "Oh, I don't know." That's like shut up. That's so irritating. That like really, I don't know. Stop being
Well, it's
such a
also
wiener.
you know, that's the ex like needling, you know what I mean? The ex-husband like
Mhm.
look like why would the ex-husband even entertain like, yeah, well let's make a budget and I'll total up all the money I gave her so you could show her how she's being, a jerk. Like
I've been paying, yeah, for you. I've been giving your mom child support and you don't get to see any of that money. And yeah, BS. That is BS. It is just one of my daughter's sports, just one of the sports that she plays all year round. Just one would be a child support for a year, basically. You have tournament fees, you have new cleats and new whatever basketball shoes, new clothes. It's just like the extracurriculars are
Well, and
sometimes.
nowadays you got to buy them like computers and,
Yeah, cell phones.
phones and yep, all
Yeah,
that
cell
stuff
phone.
now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's I don't know. And he's 17, so he probably drives. So it's like who's paying for the car insurance and who bought the kid a car, and clearly he doesn't have a job, otherwise he would have bought the damn Xbox or whatever by himself or on his own. It's like,
Right, right.
wow, I don't know. And and my husband would never like let one of my kids come up with me with like a list of like you were given child support, like he no, that wouldn't have even,
That's what I was just.
you know.
That's the one that was a real move on his part. Is like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna show.
It's like it's not
I'll
all
add
the
up all
kids'
that because
fault.
how would the son know how much he's paid? So, like I said, he
Exactly.
obviously I guess they don't have a
Exactly.
great relationship, and this is only gonna make it worse. And
Yeah.
like I said, look at that's the typical look at me, I'm the good parent. Your mom is the wicked, I'm like the
The
grandparent. You get what I'm
fun,
trying the grandparent, yeah,
yeah.
that always gives you
I'm the
whatever
fun
you want.
weekend dad. Come to
Yep.
me and you can, eat a cereal for dinner and stay up all night and have no schedule and let me throw a wrench in your life so that way on Sunday when I drop you back off with your mom's, it's going to take her a week to undo all the damage that I did to you this week to get you back on schedule. I mean,
And then I could start all
that's
over again
real.
next weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
And that
please.
just damages the child. Not as it doesn't damage the X as
No.
much as it damages the child. So,
No, that just, yeah, exactly. It's some more ammo that X thinks he has or whatever. I mean,
right.
that's just ridiculous. Like now he feels like you made him feel like he's a financial burden. It's like, well, I, I don't, he is. What do you want? I mean, I don't know. He
That's
came
what
to
kids
me.
are. That's what kids are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on. I don't know. It's like he he budgeted, he told me what I should and shouldn't spend, and then went to you, and you guys created another list and brought child support into it and everything. It's like, you know, she
It's a
was,
really crappy thing to do.
and he's 17. It wasn't a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old. Yeah, that really irritated me. I have a lot of my mom in me. I can like certain things just like I irritate me, and when they do, I can just it's like I know like right now, if that kid were to walk through my door and I would be introduced to him, I would just be like, I don't want anything to do with you, you little punk. Yeah, I'm holding a grudge. I'll hold a grudge. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. So yeah,
Okay.
no, this was fun, Joey.
Yeah,
This was
thank you.
good.
Yep, I
We
thought
should,
it went pretty well. Yep. We'll
yeah,
get one together
we
next
should.
week.
Yeah, we should
We'll
do
set a
it. Yeah,
date.
we should do it again next Friday or next week or whatever.
Yep. Maybe go a little bit shorter. I don't know. Maybe just keep it to an hour. This was like an hour and a half, but I enjoyed it. You know
Oh,
what I mean? So that's why I
me
didn't mind
too.
talking. And yeah, we didn't have a
Yeah.
lot of people, but start somewhere.
Who
That's
even
the way
knows?
it
I was
is.
gonna say I didn't tell anybody. I didn't like put it like I could have. I forgot I should have put it on Twitter. Huh? I didn't tweet it, but I will next time. And ouch, I'll sit
Yeah,
still and I
Brett
won't
actually asked
use.
me. He goes, you didn't say anything about it in my chat. I was like, no, I just because But it's like the last one was such a
You don't
disaster.
want to
You know
go
what
in
I
there
mean?
and steal
Like,
the thunder.
no, no, the last one
Yeah,
was such a disaster. It was like,
yeah, that's
let's see if
cute.
I actually can have some audio first, and you know what I mean, and have
Well,
things.
I'm happy for you that any of them showed up. I think that's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be you and I, and then we could record them, and then, or they would just stay up. So if somewhere along the line somebody came across, and
Well, that's it. Yep.
yeah, anyway,
They'll just
I'll
stay.
be
That's what
your,
it is. I'll just stay up, and I'll see how many people actually watch
yeah,
it. You
keep
know
it
what I
up.
mean? Yeah, that's it. And
Yeah,
like, I think we did
yeah,
really well. You know what I mean? I think it
hmm,
technically worked pretty well. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, so we got to maybe set up a better system so you could see the stream more, so that way you can, see the chat more. I was able to see the kind of chat and everything. I mean, it wasn't a lot of
yeah.
chat to see, but it's still a
Still,
few
yeah,
people.
interactive. Yeah,
Yeah, sure, sure. But yeah, I really
cool.
want to thank you, and we'll do this
Yeah,
again next week. And
awesome.
thank you everybody for coming. If you want to have some, I'll give you the last
Yeah,
word
thanks
before I shut
everybody.
down.
Yeah, no, I had a great time. It was fun. I like reading about assholes always. Anyway, yeah, sorry if I moved around too much and
No,
whatever. It took me a while to figure out the
not anything.
earbud thing, but they actually what they died, and I knew that was going to happen. Is why I started out with the other ones, but I do pace when I'm standing. As you can see, I'm standing. I'm already pacing. I
Right.
probably walk 5 miles on any phone conversation, and I don't mean to. So anyway,
That's
I'll be
okay.
seated next
I
time, and
did I
I'll
did get
set
a
my
laugh
phone down.
when because you could see it like when the spider was around, you're like freaking out and you're
You
like
guys, I was
backing up like like
you guys. It was bigger. It was like the AirPod cases. It was humongous. Anyhow, yeah, no. Yeah, now I have the creeps. I'll just be looking around the whole time. But anyway, no, thanks for the invite. I had a lot of fun. I'll do it again
Yep,
next week for sure.
yep.
So
Okay,
yeah.
great.
All
Thank you,
right, bye
Laci.
guys. Bye, Little Red, if you're still on.
Thank you guys for
Okay,
coming. Take care.
I'm I'm hanging. Wait, did you just throw up a Spock?
Yes, I did.
What
A
was that?
little double spot there. So just hang
Yeah.
on for